more minutes. We have to go by the public display clock, which is slow. It'll be rectified tomorrow. It will be slow 60 days from now again, so set our timers because we'll fix it again. Oh, yes, I'm not going to read that out. I was there for years. Yeah, but this just came in a short while ago. Well, the crowd should be arriving any minute. And we are recorded and put on YouTube, so you know. So tell your friends. The Village of Hainesville will now call to order a special meeting of the Village Board, sitting as the Village's Zoning Board of Appeals, to consider a special use request to allow Lake County to construct a sanitary lift station with a maximum 35-foot pole with a tenant. If we could please have a roll call. Oh, I'm sorry, it's 7 p.m. that we waited so long for on Tuesday, September 23rd, 2014.
Mayor Linda Soto.
Present.
Trustees Darabowski.
Here.
Crease.
Here.
Duberstein. Here. Barrett. Here. Daly.
Here.
And Washington.
Here.
Okay, we are in quorum, and I need a motion for approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Trustees Darabowski.
Aye.
Crease.
Aye.
Duberstein. Aye. Barrett.
Aye.
Daly.
Aye.
And Washington.
Aye.
Motion carried.
All right, at this time, if there's any public comments to the Zoning Board of Appeals, if so, you should have turned in a green sheet to our clerk. Nothing, no comments. Going, gone. Okay, so 2 weeks ago, we had a public hearing on the special use request. And upon the presentation and review and discussion and consultation with our planner, we do find the following findings of fact. One, that it will be harmonious with and in accordance with the general objectives of the comprehensive plan and the zoning ordinance. Two, it will be designed, constructed, operated, and maintained so as to be harmonious with the existing or intended character of the general vicinity. Three, it will not change the essential character of the general vicinity. And four, will not be hazardous or disturbing to existing or future neighborhood uses. And finally, will not cause substantial injury to the value of other property in the neighborhood in which it is located. And everyone should have been in receipt and copies of letters that we received from Lake County, and the appropriate things have been incorporated into the ordinance for the following board meeting. The first letter states, as was stated at the hearing, and we wanted it in writing, that Lake County Public Works currently contracts with a landscape management contractor to maintain each of the 80 sites within the county, and once the lift station site along Washington Street is constructed, it will be added to the annual landscaping contract. And currently, Landscape Concepts Management Incorporated is their landscaping contractor. The second letter covers two issues. One, in regards to our request for a meeting, Paula Tripp, the head of Lake County DOT, says they are committed to meet with us, the Village of Hainesville, and our representatives from the village to discuss the site and future opportunities for invasive species removal and native restoration. That we would have to be looking at, of course, into the new budget here at a minimum. So we acknowledge that and understand that we would be doing the same thing. And then the other issue it addresses is that, unfortunately, they are not able to relocate the pole antenna, and it clearly states why. There's a lot of changes going on, and there's a lot of things trying to be accommodated. So there is no room for that pole, and in order to best serve the purpose of the antenna, it needs to stay on the lift station. Al, do you have any additional comments at this time?
No, I believe that covers the appropriate findings.
Okay, thank you. Do we have a motion to vote on a recommendation to the Board of Trustees?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Trustees Dernoski,
Aye.
Kreis,
Aye.
Duberstein, Barrett,
Aye.
Daley,
Aye.
and Walkington.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Any further discussion? Okay, motion for adjournment.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Special meeting adjourned at 7:05, and we will move immediately into the regular board meeting. Regular board meeting is starting at 7:06. If everybody will please rise, and I'll lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mayor Linda
Present.
Trustees Dernoski,
Here.
Kreis,
Here.
Duberstein, Barrett,
Here.
Daley,
Here.
and Walkington.
Here.
Okay, and again, we are in quorum. I have a motion for approval of tonight's agenda.
So moved. Second.
Roll call.
Trustees Dernoski,
Aye.
Kreis,
Aye.
Duberstein, Barrett,
Aye.
Daley,
Aye.
and Walkington.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to bring forward, we have two special guests from the Round Lake Area 116 Board of Education. We have Heather Bennett and also Lori Berdinas, Vice President of the Board of Education. And they're going to give us a presentation on the facts of the upcoming referendum.
Good evening. Thank you so much for letting us present tonight for regarding the referendum that's supposed to take place on the ballot on November 4th. We really appreciate the opportunity.
She needs lights for the votes.
Okay. Today, me with Heather Bennett, who is our Public Relations Officer, we're here today to present with you to share factual information regarding the referendum that is on the ballot, as I said before, on November 4th. And the presentation should last about 10 minutes, and after that, we will take some questions. Okay?
Okay, great. So now we can hit the lights, or?
Now you can.
Okay.
First of all,
You can hold that if you feel more comfortable. It slips out.
Great, thank you. Okay, hello. Okay, first of all, in July, we did pass some language that were to be on the ballot. As you can see, it's the ballot language. And basically it says that shall the Board of Education of Roundland Community Unit School District Number 116, Lake County, Illinois, build and equip additions to, improve the site of, alter, repair, and equip a portion of the Round Lake High School building, including constructing new classrooms, new STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and math, labs, an additional gymnasium, and a new student commons, installing technology and security improvements, and constructing improvements to enhance student circulation, and issue bonds of said school district to the amount of $29 million for the purpose of paying the cost thereof. Okay, in July, this is when our Board of Education, where we did vote to place the referendum question on the ballot, and for the election, and the referendum question asked for community support in building additions to and improving the site of the Round Lake High School. The construction, this construction project will include the constructing new classrooms, as I mentioned before, the STEM, the science, technology, engineering, and math labs, an additional gymnasium, new student commons, installation of technology, and security upgrades. The next question is, why do we need a referendum? One of the major reasons we need a referendum is to provide more learning space for our students. We need the spaces to offer core and elective-bearing courses for our students, and also to enhance the quality of teaching and learning. Another big issue that we have at the high school is the issue of overcrowding. At this time, Round Lake High School is currently about 500 students over capacity. And enrollment at Round Lake High School over the next 5 years is believed to increase at least another 100 students. In order to address the overcrowding, at this time we have what we call a dual bell schedule. What that means is that some students start the first period and go to 8th period, other students start the 2nd period and go to 9th period. So what that means is that it also includes more buses. What we would like to do, if we could, with the referendum, we're hoping to eliminate the dual bell schedule, which will actually help our costs, keep our costs down for our buses, because that way we wouldn't have to have two different series of buses running for the different bell schedules. Another issue that we have is we currently have mobile classrooms on our grounds. We had to increase our mobiles by, I believe there's about 12. There's a total of 12 there now. And where the mobiles are located, obviously they're outside the main building, and there's no direct way to get from the main high school building to the different mobiles. You have to actually go outside. We have about, I think, maybe 5 or 6 mobiles that are actually in the student parking lot, so our students lost a bunch of parking spaces. And so this, and also because the mobiles are obviously outside and, outside from the building and not connected, that means that, you're talking about when there's bad weather, whether it's raining, whether it's there's snowing, our students are actually have to leave the main building during passing periods to go from the main building to the mobiles and back to the main building. We're looking at another thing too is you can see we have what you're looking at right now is what we call our commons. It's our cafeteria, and we do use it obviously for lunchtime for all our students in the high school. But the problem is we do not want our high school students spending all their time in a study hall. We want our students to be in classrooms where they're obtaining education, where they're learning, they're getting information regarding their core classes, taking electives. We want our students to take as much education as they can to prepare them for after school, whether it's college or whether it's work. as I said before, the Round Lake High School currently has 12 mobile classrooms outside of the main building. And you can see where the students on the bottom left-hand corner. We have, I believe, I think it's about 350 students that pass each passing period during the day when they go back and forth.
I turned it down a little bit because it's fuzzy and I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, hello, okay. So as you can see, there is also concern for safety regarding our students who have to go from inside a building outside to get to and from classes. But we do, we have resolved that by, we do make sure that there are teachers out there, that they're keeping an eye on the students, and we do everything we can because the safety and learning of our students is very important to us. And here we talk about tours of the Round Lake High School. It's really hard to picture the status of the high school unless you actually take a tour of our high school. And we do have tours that we do offer every Friday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. And they take place from September 5th to October 31st. If for some reason that time of the day or that time of the week does not work, it does not work with your schedule, please contact our office at the high school, and they'll do everything they can to accommodate your schedule. I think because we're asking for, we're talking about the referendum for the high school, we want, the best way to really get a sense of what it's like for our students and why the need is there for the referendum to pass for our classrooms and everything that we're asking for. You really have to be in our school during the time when we have a passing period, and you see what the halls are like. And right now our school capacity, it's about, like I said before, it's about $500 over capacity, and it makes it very difficult to have that many students at one time in the school, when they really need a lot more room to take more classes and to be able to learn what we need them to learn. I'm going to pass it now to Heather.
Okay, so before I move on to how the funds will be spent, I'd like to share one stat with you. We mentioned that the student capacity is we're about 500 students over capacity right now. That's including the mobiles. Our goal is to get rid of the mobiles, like Lori said, and the optimum capacity around Lake High School, not including the mobile classrooms, is 1,307, and our current enrollment is 2,084. So the goal with this referendum is to build a building, additions and renovations to the current building to house approximately 2,200 students. So it's room for some growth still. So I'll go on to how the funds will be spent. So obviously this is a project for Round Lake High School, but we are looking at this as a district referendum. Our facility offers many opportunities for those within our community, some after-school activities. So we hope to continue those opportunities for everybody within the community. And every student, we have one high school, so every student within our district is eventually going to flow through that high school. So Lori mentioned before, we have 24 general purpose classrooms proposed. And so the current number of teaching spaces does not allow for all students to receive the required courses that colleges are really looking for in a transcript when they exit high school. The physical space used for many of the current course offerings is not appropriate for offering many courses required for post-secondary success. Some of our classrooms, our building is quite old in some areas, and it's 600 square feet. So if you ever come out for a tour, you'll see these classrooms and these kids. We have some classrooms with 29 students just jam-packed in that room. Someone came out last week for a tour and just kept making comments. Heather, they can't even turn. And these are like adult-sized kids in high school. They can't even turn in their seat without bumping into someone else. So moving on to the 4 next generation science classrooms. These are STEM labs. So in our school right now, we made some adjustments over the summer. We have 6 new mobile classrooms. Last year, we were making accommodations for our science classrooms because you had some English classes being taught in a science classroom, or some science classes being taught in an English classroom. And as you know, in science, sometimes you need some labs and certain accommodations within that room that they didn't have. So we had the 6 new mobiles added this summer, and that allowed us to move the science classes, some of them, back into the older science wing of the building, which no longer had running water, since they had kind of converted that years ago. So they brought the water back in and they brought the gas back in. But even now, those classrooms are not fully equipped with what students need in science labs. So these 4 classrooms are going to open up some really great opportunities for our students. Okay, so new gymnasium. We have 2. We have a main gym, we have what we call the old gym. And even with that, we are not able to we're currently not able to offer the state mandated physical education requirements for all of our students. So what we did to make that happen is instituted an alternate PE class called walking PE. So right now, it's a nice day, we can go out and use the track, no big deal, use whatever grounds we have around the building, but in wintertime, that's obviously not possible. So our students are walking through our hallways. As you can imagine, that's not a great physical activity for our students. So this 3rd gym will really open up those opportunities for PE for our students. Additional common spaces. Right now, the high school only has our cafeteria as its common space, really. So what I'll show you in a few minutes is a floor plan, proposed floor plan. And what will happen is near the new gym and the theater area of our high school will be a new commons area. And that space can be used for study halls, for classes. Students can earn their way to study in that area or have lunch there. Enhanced circulation. I'll show you again in a few minutes. Our floor plan. One of our hallways, all of our hallways are pretty packed, but we have one hallway near the back of the building that leads to the gym area. It's quite scary. If you're standing there, students passing through there, it's quite congested. So the addition will offer 2 new openings to the gym area through the front of the building where those new classrooms will be added. So that will improve the circulation within the building. And then the technology and security upgrades. So installation of 21st century technology tools such as the Business Technology Incubator and Project Lead the Way programs. These are programs that other high schools are offering their students that we are not currently able to do with our facilities. And then obviously, having students in one building without going outside to get to the mobiles will improve the safety and security of all of our students. Okay, so here's the proposed entrance. I'm not sure how many of you have been to our high school, but we have a circle drive in the front here that will remain. This is currently in place, and this would be the front entrance. This section here would be the addition of the 24 new general ed classrooms. So right now, if you go to the high school, you walk in, you have to walk up a few steps to get in. You check in. You either have to go to the right, down a few steps to get to that office. You have to go left, go up a few steps to go to that office, or straight down to our commons area. So it's not very accommodating for any of our visitors. So what our plan is to level this out. So you're walking straight into the building. There will be a vestibule where you go in and you actually check in. Right now, when you go into our school, you're in. Once they buzz you in, there's a receptionist there, but you're in the building. So the proposed floor plan. These yellow areas are the proposed additions. So in the back of the building near the student parking lot, that's the 4 additional STEM labs. The 24 general education classrooms will go up front, and then the new gymnasium right here. And as I mentioned before, this would be the new access point to the gym area. Right now, this is our J wing. This is the only way that students can get to our PE area. So all of them are filtering through this area every period of the day. Our renovations would be the main entrance lobby, like I mentioned, the business incubator lab right here, a food service renovation, and then that J-Wing. So financial impact on the individual homeowner, that's what everybody wants to know, right? So I'm sure you're quite familiar with property taxes and how it works in the school district. What I'm going to focus on today is the bond and interest portion of your tax bill, because that's where the referendum falls. So the district currently has existing debt that is projected to be paid off within the next 11 years. With a successful referendum, those bonds, in addition to our existing debt, will be extended another 5 years to 16 years. Our plan is to refinance some of our current existing debt, and then to add in that $29 million so that everything levels out. So what you'll see here is your projected bond and interest tax rate without a referendum. So for the next 5 years, it's expected to go up and then drop off here. And then after 11 years, it's at zero. With the successful referendum and the refinancing of some of our bonds, we'll be putting the tax rate level at $1.82 for 16 years. Okay, so how does this impact a homeowner? I apologize, it's kind of small on the screen here, but it's in your presentation packet. We based it off of a homeowner with a $100,000 market value home. I realize there are some less than that, some more than that, but we thought 100 would be kind of a good mark to use. So without the referendum, the bond and interest portion of the taxes are expected to go up for the next 5 years and then drop off some. And then with a successful referendum and the refinancing of our current debt, that would be level for 16 years at $497. So what does $29 million cost a homeowner of a $100,000 market value home? Over a 16-year period, that person would be paying $3,600. That's not $3,600 a year. It's $3,600 divided by 16 years. So with that, we're open to any questions you might have.
Mike? Start with the board. Does anybody have questions?
A couple.
Microphone?
I go over to the school on occasion, and like you say, we have to get buzzed in, we have to show ID and sign in at the desk. What kind of security, if any, is at the mobiles? I mean, somebody could just walk in, or do they have any kind of security there?
We do have security. We have security who walks the building all day. That's their job. All of our doors are locked in the building, so someone can't just walk in. And then during duties, each teacher has a duty during the day, and they're assigned to different parts of the building. So if you come out for a tour, you'll see, while students are in class, you're going to see a teacher at designated areas within the building. And a lot of them are at those doors where kids might be coming in or going out to the mobiles.
But there isn't security going into the mobiles. I mean, anybody can walk in. Is that right?
Those are locked as well, but our security probably goes out there during the day too, but for the most part, they're inside the main building.
Any other questions from the board or
Okay,
staff?
one other question. The common area, the cafeteria, about how many students do you think are in there at a time?
There are times, at peak times during the day, that you might see 250 students sitting in the cafeteria for a study hall.
And do they really study?
I've been through there. As you can imagine, not much studying going on. It's quite distracting. We actually met with some students over the summer. We created a video that we'll be releasing here in the next week or so. And some of those students in there talk about that. I'm in study hall and I can't concentrate because I got all these people around me talking. So I mean, I've been through, it's not like a big party, I won't say that, But it's not, you know, you don't have that teacher contact where you can just sit down with the teacher and go through if you need any help on a specific subject.
On your 24 classroom construction, what is the occupancy for each classroom that you're figuring? Is it going to be 20 students, 25 students?
Our contract language is, shows a maximum of 29 students, so that would be the max in a classroom. You might have like your ESL classrooms, those are mandated to be a little bit lower than 26. Special ed classrooms are obviously a little bit lower than that, but the max would be 29.
The offerings in on the science lab and everything else, one lab for different, you know, math and labs. What is the occupancy of that for the students as far as what they can take? And offering what, 9 classes or 8 classes a day, 9 periods a day?
So teachers, I believe they teach 5 periods a day,
Okay.
and that could be staggered throughout the day. So we will essentially have 8 periods once we get rid of that dual bell schedule. And so again, 29 students in that classroom, so 29 times 4. We still have some other science classrooms within the building that we'll be utilizing, but this will be the higher tech classrooms that we'll need for those classes and courses that students need for college.
How many periods do each student, how many classes a day does your average student have?
5 to 6, I would say.
I'm sorry?
5 to 6.
I'd say, so they have a couple of mandates that, well, they have lunch and then they have a study hall.
They may or may not have a study hall. In the past, due to space limitations, and probably not so much this year because of the 6 additional mobiles, but we have had students who have had 2 study halls in a day because we haven't had a classroom to place them in.
Who's your architect?
Fanning Howie?
How long is it going to take to do all the upgrades?
So the plan right now is if it's successful in November, we'll break ground in June. And then the expected date of completion will be fall of 2016. So there are different spots in the building that you saw on the floor plan, so we'll be able to work strategically so as not to upset the school day for our students. They'll do some things during the summer, some things during the school year.
Good luck.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Any other questions from the board or staff? Is there anybody in the audience that would like to step forward to the mic and ask a question? Okay. Heather, I just need you to share the mic, I'll have to pass it back and forth. George, state your name.
George Stugerstein, 82 12 Oak Drive. I have a couple of questions and some comments. First question is, are you going to give this briefing to other municipalities in Round Lake?
Can I use the microphone? So we went out for a referendum in March. Unfortunately, it was not successful, but we found as a district that we did not do a very good job of communicating with our community. So we had 2 community forums the first time around, and then we did some mailings. That was about it. So this time, we really hit it hard in September. And from the beginning of September through the end of October, our goal is to hold at least 30 meetings within our schools and each of the municipalities, organizations within the community. So we've held meetings at each of our schools. We went during open house, where that's where we need to go to meet with our parents, because that's where they come, right? So we have some parents back there. So we just took a few minutes, 15 minutes of their time so that we could really share the same presentation with them. We heard from our parents last time that some of them didn't even know that we were going out for a referendum, so we knew that we needed to do a better job this time around.
Thank you. Second question. Well, last time around, the referendum asked for $29 million. This time you're asking for the same amount. In the interim, can I assume correctly that the construction costs may have gone up? And if that's the case, how will that impact the money you have available as a result of the referendum?
I'll do my best to answer that one. I'm not really a finance person, but there's a chance that they could have gone up. There's a chance they could have gone down as well. And one of the reasons that we're kind of waiting to move forward with any of the plans is because, first of all, we want to be sure that it's successful before we start spending more money, taxpayer money on plans and drawing up all those types of things. But I I would say that the team that we, administrative team and the board that we have right now is so focused on this project. And you know, and some of you may also know that our district has had some financial challenging times over the years, but we are in a good spot, a really good spot. And the team that we have working for us right now is very accountable and very mindful of keeping things in good condition, so.
Okay. My final question is, should be a quick one, and that was
George talking to them.
into the mic. If I'm, correct me if I'm wrong, but the last time around was the on rate at 1.79 or something, so has it gone up a little bit?
Yes.
Okay.
The 1.82.
All right. And then just a comment, you've done a great job, I think, with the handouts and the brochures, and obviously you can't change it, but in your discussions with these various groups, I would suggest that you be a little more specific when you talk about why you need new classrooms, and I'll be specific, and that is you don't have enough classrooms or now, from what I understand, to teach all the courses that are necessary for the people who go to college. So I think that's an important point that needs to be made. You did make the comment, I think, it's not in your brochures, but in your briefing about the fact that you need the extra gym because you don't have enough gym space to meet the education, the physical education requirements the state requires. So I would hammer that as well. But I think it's very important to mention the fact that you don't have enough classroom space to be able to teach all the courses that need to be taught so that people can go to college or meet the college requirements. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, George. Anybody else have any other questions in the audience? Going, gone. Any other questions from the board? Last chance. All right, thank you so much for the presentation. Very informative. At this time, we'll move to public comments. Is there anyone present that wants to address the village board? If so, you should have submitted a form to the clerk. No takers. Okay, gone as well. On to the omnibus vote agenda. Do I have a motion for approval?
So,
Second.
Roll call.
Trustees Darrenowski.
Aye.
Reese.
aye.
Uberstein. Barrett.
Aye.
Daly.
Aye.
And Watkington.
Aye.
Motion carried.
And of course, we went back to the two-meeting a month format, and the clerk and I overlooked that we put our monthly reports on here again. Usually we just list reports of standing committees, any comments, because you're only expected to report monthly. So if you don't have a report, that's fine. Our village engineer is not present tonight. We do have our attorney present though, Jim Rock. Jim, you have anything to tell us tonight?
My report is brief. Just since we last met, we did prepare the ordinance that will be considered tonight in terms of granting a special use permit for a sanitary lift station. Also, we reviewed the intergovernmental agreement that's in the business section with Swalco for a textile recycling drop box. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Jim. Public Works Superintendent, Jeff Gately.
I always have something to
Yes, you should.
I could talk about this in lieu of Greg not being here. Last week, Thursday and Friday, for the upcoming road project, Greg and I did go out, measure up curbs, sidewalk, storm structures, so everything's ready to go. That project will be starting next week. We still have some coordination to do with the townhome communities about no street parking. So probably sometime early next week, we'll get together with the one chief and come up with some type of solution for that. Can I report on the business
Police Chief Phil Perlini.
I just wanted to remind everybody about the prescription drug drop-off on Saturday between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. We'll have an officer out in the lot, and all you have to do is drop your surplus medications, prescription or non-prescription, off, and no questions asked, just dump it in the bag and move on. So,
And no sharps, no needles.
no sharps and no fluids, no liquids. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, our treasurer's not here. We'll move on to our village clerk. Kathy, you have anything for us?
I do. Roseanne, Deputy Clerk Roseanne Stark and I attended.
Microphone.
I tell everybody else.
Yeah, I know we're gonna give it back to you.
Deputy Clerk Roseanne Stark and I attended our Lake County Clerks meeting last Wednesday. Willard Helander gave a presentation. We received our packets for the petition packets for April 7th for the consolidated election. Today was the first day you could pick up a packet, and not one person came in. And you can pick them up during business hours only, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, 9 to 5, Fridays 9 to noon. We have 3 seats open, which is a 4-year term on each seat. And if you are not registered to vote, October 7th is the last day that we can register you. And then voting registration reopens on November 6th. That's it.
And you can register people right here in the village hall, right?
All of us girls are deputy registrars.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll move on to the mayor's report. A couple things. I have been working along with Jim Rock and also with Jeff Gately's assistance on our lease agreement with the Lake McHenry County Fire Department Special Response Team. So Jim just approved today final language, and they have their board meeting tomorrow where we expect them to adopt the agreement. In fact, I will be emailing the trustees the language so you can start to review it and contact me if you have any questions. It's a very good, solid agreement as discussed prior. The first year, the monthly lease fee will be $1,300 a month, and then the following 2 years at $1,400 a month, and then 6 months prior from the renewal time is when we would have to have any new relicense fee or that dollar amount would need to be determined by, so they have ample notice. Also, at our last meeting, we discussed having a public hearing in the very near future in regards to the West End address issue. So the clerk and I have been working on that. There's some materials we have to get together, and there's a process of dates, so we are putting them together currently, and that also will be emailed to everyone shortly. But the target date so far looks like we would have the public hearing right before our November board meeting, because we have to give notice, send letters, publicize. What would be good about that is people tend to communicate with their families and friends with some type of holiday greeting, so they could also let them know about the change of address. And we're hoping we could work out where it would be effective sometime in January. So January 15th or January 30th. That again has to all be determined, but we are working on that. And then on one final note, I'm going to jump out front. I'm going to show everyone a very brief PowerPoint, so bear with me while I hook up my laptop.
While you're hooking that up, I'll just jump ahead briefly. For finance, the audit report is complete, and Kelly has the copies, and we'll get to see it in the next board meeting.
Okay, well, we keep going here.
Keep going. passed. Not passed.
Gary, you can run the meeting for a minute. You're the senior trustee, so feel free to jump in and...
Okay, public safety, trustee Chris.
So today we had a public safety meeting, and the mayor attended, and trustee Daley and I. And most of the topic discussion was Hainesville Road safety issue that we feel that needs to be addressed. And that is in regards to the last two accidents that we've had on Hainesville Road, one burning down one townhouse with them hitting the gas main, and the second one, an accident a couple of weeks ago where another car almost hit another gas main. So the gist of it is we look at our options, whether guardrails, bollards, or stone berms or whatever could be put in front of these gas meters. And what we're going to do is Mayor and I are going to set up a meeting with Lake County DOT and find out what their suggestions are and what they can do for us to alleviate this issue. So, and that's about it. That's what we have.
Okay, thank you, trustee. Wetlands and open spaces, trustee Duberstein.
We will be seeing shortly what we've been working on.
Thank you. Broadcast, trustee Aronowski.
Since in the past 2 weeks, uploading the meeting from the both zoning board and the regular board meeting, we had 6 views on the YouTube channel, 3 comments, and actually 1 like, which is the first for us. So I'm pretty happy about that. And that's all I got.
All right, I'm going to jump back in, finish my mayor's report. John, can you do the lights? Recently, trustee Georgianne Duberstein and Dave Coulter from Native Restorations requested a meeting with me, and they did a very good presentation on a topic we have touched on periodically in the past. But what they pointed out is how much more serious the situation has become, and they had a suggestion. I took their presentation, thought about it, and then had a second meeting with Greg Ruin, our engineer, and Jeff Gately. Sorry. Can everybody hear me? No. Okay. How's that better?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Sorry. So, what I'm going to show you is a very brief presentation regarding the village pond on the north side of the building. That detention pond, like most from the 90s, basically had turf grass put all around it. And I'm going to show you a little bit of what's going on. This is a picture not of our pond, but a picture of many ponds that's showing the failure that's occurring. Now, as you all know, this past winter was particularly bad, and then of course we have had a very, very wet season. So this shoreline erosion, which we've talked about, has greatly accelerated. And I was rather shocked when I looked out at where the 2 river birches, which we planted not that long ago for Arbor Day, if you look at the most northern one on the west side, you can see erosion already occurring. So it is an issue. So what Dave and Georgianne proposed to me is that they would like to fix this now. And the question was, well, okay, if we decide that's a good thing, how do we pay for it? So Georgianne has found a portion of money in her budget that she is willing to delay another project for the following year. It's not as dire or as necessary. And upon meeting with Jeff, we found additional money in his budget. This project is going to be between $10,000 and $12,000 when all's said and done. So bear with me as we move forward here. What you're seeing is the shore has been cleared, herbicide, the turf grass is pulled out, and you have this jute coconut type base that's a roll that makes the start of a shoreline base. And then they're putting matting in with seeding and then additional supports till true vegetation can be established. And then in the spring, about 1,100 plant plugs would be put in. And this is just a picture as if the planting has occurred. That's a soaker hose. Obviously, you have to keep things watered until they take. And now things are starting to move in the right direction. And what I'm going to show you is a picture of different ponds where this has been done. Now, turf grass, as we all know, has a root structure about this big. These are all plants that have tremendous root structure and anchor the soil. And Jeff Gately and or Dave Coulter no longer need to try to mow these sloping angles that slope more as erosion occurs. So no longer need to mow. This is just different pictures. Here's a building that has no turf grass, and so there's no mowing done there. Obviously, a maintenance crew goes in there a few times during the season to pick up debris, whether it's garbage or other landscape waste, but nothing like the mowing hours that occur. So prettier view and overall lower maintenance. So, Greg Gruen confirmed that, yes, their firm, when they go out now, this is how they recommend detention ponds to be handled. In the 90s, when all the building boom occurred, a lot of urban developers came out here, a lot of more urban people moved out here. Everybody has the mentality, turf grass everywhere, don't want plants. But this is really the better way to go. So, what we're asking for, the money's already in the budget, we're shifting it, but because of the amount of money, is I want the board to understand what we're looking to do, and when you see the activity over what's occurring. So I'm going to ask you to think about this. You know, it's not on the agenda tonight.